Donald Trump Jr. is not just the eldest son of Donald Trump, he's also one of his loudest cheerleaders. But things between them weren't always picture perfect. In fact, their relationship was rocky for years. It all started when Trump Jr. was just 12. His parents, Donald and Ivana Trump, were going through a highly publicized divorce, complete with tabloid headlines like "Best Sex I've Ever Had" splashed across the front pages. Yeah, imagine being a kid and seeing that while riding to school. No wonder Trump Jr. didn't speak to his dad for a whole year. According to a 2004 New York Magazine profile, he blamed the breakup on his father, who had been having an affair with Marla Maples.
It was just so clear, and the trust was broken so badly that I knew that it was just no way it could be patched.
Later, though, Trump Jr. admitted he might have been influenced by his mom's side of the story.
It was a tough thing that he was going through.
And Ivana didn't mince words. He needed a father figure, she said, adding that Donald was rarely around. They had to go to his office just to say hello before school. So when the kids turned 21, she told him, "Here's the finished product." It was her way of saying, "I raised them. Now it's your turn." After the divorce, Donald Jr. and his younger brother Eric were sent off to boarding school in Pennsylvania, far from the chaos of New York society. There, Don Jr. found a bit of peace and took up skeet shooting, something his father probably wouldn't have touched unless it came with gold trim. "When I went to boarding school, all those inconveniences just went away," he said at the time. Translation? He finally got a break from the Trump spotlight.
It's going to take a long time to recover.
But the real father figure in Don Jr.'s early life wasn't Donald. It was his maternal grandfather, Milos Zelnicek. During summers in the Czech countryside, Grandpa Milos taught him how to camp, hunt, fish, and even speak Czech, a far cry from Fifth Avenue. By the time college rolled around, Trump Jr. was following in his dad's footsteps at Wharton. But let's just say his college reputation wasn't all business suits and board meetings. According to classmates, he partied hard and was known for drunken brawls and dramatic stunts. One former classmate even claimed that Trump Sr. once slapped Don Jr. in front of his dorm mates for not dressing up properly for a Yankees game.
People think of me as not necessarily nice.
That story was later denied by the Trump family, but do we believe them? You decide. After college, instead of joining the family business right away, Don Jr. took off to Aspen, Colorado. He lived out of a truck, bartended, and soaked in the great outdoors. Sounds like he needed a serious break from all things Trump. During this phase, he barely spoke to his father at all. In fact, he got arrested during Mardi Gras in New Orleans for public drunkenness and spent nearly half a day in jail.
Don't drink. Don't drink.
Eventually, he left the mountains behind and joined the Trump Organization.
Well, real estate is real estate, right?
His first big assignment was Trump Park Avenue. But even then, father and son didn't always see eye to eye. Don Jr. wanted more modern designs, but Trump Sr. insisted on, you guessed it, gold doorknobs. At one point, Jr. even joked about putting Trump Jr. on the building. His father said no surprise there. Despite all the drama, over the years they managed to patch things up. These days, Don Jr. is his dad's ride-or-die supporter. From rallies to rants, he's been front and center in the MAGA movement. And he's not shy about hinting at his own political future either. At the Qatar Economic Forum, he was asked if he'd ever consider stepping into his dad's shoes as the next leader of the movement.
Well, it's an honor to be asked and an honor to see that some people are okay with it.
Those are just our friends.
Yeah,
in the front
that's
row,
probably just a couple people we know.
The team, those
are the
three
tickets we got.
Yeah, that's it. Right.
You never know.
Don Jr. isn't just echoing his father's political ambitions. His personal life has been making waves too, much like his dad's back in the day. Here's the latest. Many suspect Don Jr. cheated on his ex-fiancée Kimberly Guilfoyle with his new girlfriend Bettina Anderson. Now, let's rewind to when Don Jr. and Bettina first sparked dating rumors. Back in December, they were seen holding hands at Anderson's birthday celebration, but at that point, he was apparently still engaged to Kimberly Guilfoyle. We never really got the official word on the breakup, but let's be real. It seems pretty clear that the wedding bells for Don Jr. and Kimberly aren't happening anytime soon. In fact, Kimberly's been busy with her new role as the U.S. ambassador to Greece, which just so happened to be announced right around the time the rumors about Don Jr. dating Bettina started surfacing. Smooth timing, right? Trump Sr. praised Kimberly's intellect, experience, and patriotism, calling her the perfect fit to strengthen ties with Greece.
I stand before you tonight, more convinced than ever. This is the most important election in our lifetime.
Don Jr. even jumped in to congratulate her, saying, "I am so proud of Kimberly. She loves America and has always wanted to serve the country as an ambassador. She will be an amazing leader for America first." Now, here's where it gets interesting. While Kimberly is living it up, posting birthday selfies, showing off her glittery mini dress, and making the most of this new chapter, Don Jr. has been out there, openly dating Bettina. So, is this ambassador role a sweet career move, or maybe a strategic distraction? You decide.
It's not just about identity, it also needs to be about qualification.
Anyways, it seems like everyone's doing just fine. At least that's what it looks like from their social media. But yeah, as you might guess, some people are wondering if Don Jr. moved on with Bettina while still with Kimberly. Interesting, huh? While Don Jr.'s alleged infidelity with Bettina Anderson has raised eyebrows, it pales in comparison to Donald Trump Sr.'s far more scandalous split from Don Jr.'s mother, Ivana. Donald met Ivana, née Ivana Zelnichkova, in 1976.
Lady Trump, I was first. Okay. I don't know what is Melania's problem. She just has to get over it.
She ended up in New York City for a modeling gig, and during a dinner with other models, Donald swooped in. He secured the group the best table in the place and joined them. Smooth move, right?
And I turned to my girlfriend and said, I have a good news and bad news. What is the good news? You're going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? This fellow behind me is going to go and sit with us.
By Christmas, Donald asked her to go on vacation. They went to Aspen and had the most romantic time together. On New Year's Eve, Donald told her, "If you don't marry me, you'll ruin your life." Now that's the Trump we know. And despite having known each other for only a few months, Ivana agreed to marry him.
Donald always had a great head on his shoulder, and I saw the potential in it.
They tied the knot on April 9th, 1977 in New York City. And during their honeymoon in Mexico, Ivana became pregnant with their first child. On December 31, 1977, their son Donald Jr. was born. The couple went on to welcome 2 more children, Ivanka in 1981 and Eric in 1984. A picture-perfect marriage, right? But wait.
He did not know how to speak to them in the children way of thinking. So he was able to speak to them only when they came from university, when eventually was able to speak business with them.
Yeah.
But otherwise he really did not know how to handle the kids.
Donald and Ivana weren't just partners in marriage, but also in business.
And I was chief executive officer. The casino really did very well. It was the most profitable hotel casino in the United States.
However, their seemingly perfect marriage hit the rocks in 1989 when Ivana discovered Donald's affair with model Marla Maples.
Did you see warning signs?
I really didn't. I really didn't.
It all happened during the family's annual holiday trip to Aspen. Ivana ran into Maples outside a restaurant, with patrons and the rest of the family watching. Ivana wrote, "This young blonde woman approached me out of the blue and said, 'I'm Marla, and I love your husband. Do you?' I said, 'Get lost. I love my husband.' It was unladylike, but I was in shock."
We were actually standing near the restaurant, getting ready to put skis on. And I was standing there like an idiot. And Marla and Ivana were here. And there wasn't shouting, but you could obviously see there was some friction.
Turns out this affair had been going on for years.
Do you think unless the two had actually come face to face, you would have confronted that situation?
Well, it's interesting because it's possible that, maybe it would still be going on. I'm not sure.
The affair made headlines, and in March 1990, Ivana officially filed for divorce, resigning from the Trump Organization a few months later. Maples and Donald continued to date on and off, and in 1993, she became pregnant with their first child. Their daughter Tiffany was born on October 13, which Maples later called the greatest unplanned surprise of all. Despite Donald previously saying he had no plans to get married again, the couple decided to tie the knot shortly after Tiffany's birth, on December 20th, 1993.
We really anticipated getting married and having a baby, not having a baby and getting married.
So why didn't you marry her right away when you found out she was pregnant? Why did you wait?
Indecision.
The pair remained married for 3 years before separating in May 1997. Maples later explained the split, saying that they differed on how they viewed the world and how they wanted to raise their child.
So I think you always hope in a marriage that you can bring out the best in each other. But after many years, we realized we weren't.
However, rumors swirl that the real cause was Maples cheating on Trump with his bodyguard, who was caught with her on a deserted beach. Probably not just having a late-night stroll. But Maples have always denied the affair, of course. But it's not all bad blood. Despite their rocky past, Donald and Marla managed to mend fences. In a 2013 Oprah interview, Marla revealed, "I still love Donald. I love Eric, Ivanka, and Donnie so much." They even managed to share an Easter celebration in April 2023. Who knew divorce could come with a side of friendly get-togethers?
He's the father of my child. I do not want to ever speak negative about it. But do we agree on everything? Absolutely not. We would be married if we still agreed on everything.
But Ivana, who passed away in 2022, clearly wasn't ready to forgive and forget.
I don't want to talk about her. She's a showgirl, never achieved anything in her life.
In her 2017 memoir, Raising Trump, she didn't hold back, saying, "She actively participated in humiliating me in the media and indirectly put my kids at risk for months. I went through hell, and then I was expected to be okay with her being around my children?" Ivana's words reflected the deep hurt and betrayal she felt, a pain that her friends believe she never fully overcame. Well, who could blame Ivana?
He's free at the moment, isn't he? He's single.
Yes, he is.
Would you not like to get back together with him?
Nope.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, you would like to get back?
Nope.
So, with all this scandal and drama, who do you think was the true love of Trump's life? Let's discuss in the comments.